Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ian I Explore. Today I'm going to start on my deep dives at some of the streets, and the first one we're going to do is Freeman Street. So I'm going to let the AI tell you a bit about the street, and I'm going to have a walk around there and tell you some of the things that used to be there that have long gone now. Okay, some of the stuff's still down there, some of the pubs, etc. But you know, there's things that are been knocked down and rebuilt over, if you see what I mean. Okay, so let's get on with the video.
1201, the Royal Charter. Grimsby was amongst the first places in England to be granted a royal charter. The Carta de Grimsby gave freedoms, rights, and privileges to the burgesses and freemen of Grimsby. All this was happening a full 14 years before the signing of the Magna Carta at Runnymede. The common people, however, were not included in this. The seals of King John and the burgesses of Grimsby were used to seal the charter at a royal court at Nottingham. This was a Kickstarter, and things were on the up for our borough forebears. The enrolled freemen of Grimsby still own and manage what is now Freeman Street, land granted to them by later charters following on from the Carta de Grimsby. Early days. Freeman Street's history is intertwined with the growth of Grimsby's fishing industry and the arrival of the railways in the mid-19th century. Freeman Street Market. The market officially opened in 1873, initially as an open-air space. It has survived world wars and the fishing crisis, remaining a focal point for local trade and community life. Been there 152 years to date. Victorian boom. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a significant expansion of Grimsby, with Freeman Street becoming a vibrant center for commerce and a place where people came to work. Mid-20th century. The street was known for its diverse range of shops and businesses, from food and clothing to furniture and electrical goods. The market also saw improvements like the installation of a roof and electric lighting. Shifting focus. In the latter half of the 20th century, changes in population distribution and the decline of the fishing industry led to a shift in focus away from Freeman Street. However, the market continued to serve the community and is celebrating its 152-year anniversary. Modern Freeman Street. Today, Freeman Street Market remains a key feature of the area, alongside other shops and businesses. The Great Grimsby Street Tramways Company operated both horse-drawn and electric trams, with a branch line running down Freeman Street. This branch was part of the original 1,881 horse tramway and later converted to electric operation in 1901. The tram system, the Freeman Street section, was eventually split between the company and Grimsby Corporation in 1925.
Down Freeman Street at one time, during its life, there was 13 pubs down there. Some that are gone and some are still here. I'll read them to you. You've got Cotties, which is still there. I think it's recently closed. The Corporation Hotel, that's still there. The Angel, that's still there and still open. All these are still open by our Cotties, by the way. And the Wellington. And then these are the ones that are lost. The Prince of Wales, the Lincoln Wrestler, the White Bear, the Royal George, the Buckclough Arms, the Buffalo Arms, the Red Lion, the Dogger Bank, and the Crown and Anchor. So they're the ones that all used to be down Freeman Street. Like I say, some of them are still there, the buildings are anyway. The White Bear recently closed. I can't remember how long ago that was. But I'll tell you some more about the other things that was down there as we go along. Right, let's move on. Right, so I'm starting off at the top end of Freeman Street now. This is Grimsby Square. Let me turn this round. In front of you can see all these shops are all closed. Now I mentioned Cotties, look. It looks like it's up for sale again, but it did shut recently. And there was a lot of pubs and things down here. I've just mentioned a few of them for you. And I go right to the end, the bank on the corner there, that was the Midland. But we're going to turn round. Might be square over there, so let's turn round. Let's walk down. Okay, so what else did we have down here? Yes, there was entertainment. There was a load of entertainment down here. A lot of it. There was actually 4 theatres. down here. So you've got entertainment, you've got something to eat and everything down this way. Okay, so the theatres. Prince of Wales. Okay, that's where the ABC and the Odeon were, which I'll show you as we go further down. You had the Tower, you had the Tivoli Theatre, you had the Royal Adelphi Theatre. Okay, and also down here was the tramway. Okay, I think the AI's already told you that. Then we had the market, which was open air at one time, which is now covered. Yeah, I stopped myself there because I missed a fish and chip shop out. So you had Cox's, the P-Bunk, Sutherland's and Joe's. Sorry about that. Okay, on with the video. The big white building there, or cream. That one's the Tower. Yes, they are slightly off Freeman Street, I get that. And in here is where the House of Holland was. I think it was the Tesco's before that, you guys, if memory serves. Okay, and also in this same area, the Wilco's was. That used to be a shop. I can't remember what the name of it was now. Was it Fine Fair or something like that? Comments below. And then the area we're coming up to, it used to be where the Freeman Street Centre was. Now, I remember going in there to Dave Boylan's and getting me Deodora trainers when we were dressers back in the 80s. And also across the road, you had Umber Records. Any of you go in that one? He's over there. Sorry about that. I moved the camera wrong way, didn't I? But all this area here, I mean, there was a big church in there. That's where St Andrews was. But you can see how this has changed. That was how the Prince of Wales pub was in there, where it's his Viking house. Dogger Bank was in there, where whatever that is now. I'm going to call it Wilco's. The Lincoln Wrestler was over this side here, and the White Bear was up there. Like I said, there's one or two of these pubs still standing as well. Okay, let's move on. Shopping. Now, a lot of you guys will probably know more about the shops than I do. I used to come down here in the 80s when it was Umber Records and things like that. The major shop that's down here, well, it was two actually, it's Marks and Spencer's, and then you had Woolworths. And the other ones are, these are the small shops, by the way. You had Turner's Bakers, Thomas's. Now Thomas's, oh, their bread was absolutely gorgeous. William Lyon the Jewellers, now you can still see that in the ground. It's where the travel place is now. But I think the shutter will be down, so I can't really show you that today with a bit of Sunday. You had Dobson's, which I believe was a bit like Wilco's. You had Yale's Sports Shop. I remember going in there getting a skateboard back in the 70s. You had Hardy's, Rayner's, Umber Records, which I'm there to, I'll show you in a minute. Harrison's News Agents, which I'm there to as well. You had Boots, which is recently shut. Like I said, I just mentioned Woolworths. You had Mad Harry's, Quick Save, Tesco's, House of Holland, Boys and Blockbusters, Curry's, which I'm there to, by the way, and various sports shops. And also you would have had, I don't forget when this first started, you would have had butchers, tailors, milliners, ironmongers, off licenses probably, cobblers, and many more of them. Different, everything that you needed was here. Now, Umber Records, I think it was it this one? No, wasn't this. This was Curry's. Yeah, there we go. So this one was Curry's, I believe. I remember going in it. I went buying a VHS route. Thought, no, it was a Betamax. In here, this one was Umber Records. I think it was this one, you guys. My memory's not that brilliant. Okay, and we'll go along and I'll point out some of the other ones. Wimpy down here as well. I think the Wimpy is where it says cooking and eating up there. But yeah, a lot of change down here over the times it's been here. Now, I did a calculation, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I mean, please, I'm not that good at all this sort of stuff. But the charter was in 1201, and to date, that makes that over 824 years ago. So I don't think this street was here back then. I think it started in 18 something or other when I started building down here. Well, I mean, today, what is there down here today? Well, I think you probably already dubbed this lots of things, don't you? I think I did. Yeah, I Constantinople. If you know what that is, you'll know what I'm on about. But anyway, yeah, but basically down here now is what is haircuts, something to eat, frozen food places, you know, the odd carpet shop, charity shop, things like that. But that's basically it, considering what was down here. But this, the market, is the one that saved it. Say that, you know, if that wasn't there, it would be fairly dead. You wouldn't, you know, much would happen. You'd go somewhere else, wouldn't you? Focus of shopping, move from here into what we call Top Town. But now, that market's gone, isn't it? Okay, they've reopened it somewhere else. But it's not as big. You can see up there, look how it used to be. On the picture up there, 1883 is when it opened. See, it was still open air then, a bit like your farmers markets now, isn't it? In the background there's an hotel, there's a cat, and looks like the Lion something, it says. And there was also one of the Fisherman's Missions over there, one of the early ones. But yeah, if it wasn't for this, I think it'd be gone. So if I move the camera around, over there, that used to be a bank. And like I said, the corporation, hotel or arms is still there. But a lot has changed. And this used to be Marks and Spencer's, which is now in Iceland. Right, Garibaldi Street. Now, the shop across there, that used to sell wine, and I think they used to make it as well, I'm not sure. I mean, winemaking, they need grapes and things, but there did used to be a wine shop. In here, where this big place is, used to be a co-op. Where the amusement place is over there, that was called the Royal George. And in here was where the Prince of Wales used to stand. Okay, it's still been a theatre and a picture house, but now it's, what is it now? So whatever that is on there. And I even remember queuing outside here. And also, where this Regal is here, this became a quick save. And over there, that's where Rayner's was. Now another pub what's still here, what I mentioned, the Freeman's Arms, you see. So there's a lot of things still going on. But it seems to have been taken over. Like I said, all right, some pubs and you can, you know, a few corner shops, let's say, will sell stuff. What you need every day, milk, bread and all that thing. But most of it, from what I can tell, is either getting an haircut or something to eat. Other than that, I think that's it. As I keep going, I did mention the trams came down here as well. Now that building there is over 100 years old. This is where Hardy's was, in there. Now a lot of these little shops, you guys will probably tell me. I think Dobson's was up here where that yellow shop is. I think it was along this bit. And Yale's is in there as well. I think I mentioned that one. We're going to keep walking. I'm going to keep this running. Now that building there, I'm on the wrong corner, sorry. I can't do that. So we're keeping going. New Market Street over there. You would have walked over the bridge to Central Market. This was a road, by the way. Forget all that. It was a road. As we keep walking down, it's quite quiet today actually. It's a Sunday, you guys. These shops here, jewellers. Now William Lyons, when I get to think I've passed it. Have I passed it? Oh, I bet I have. Yeah. William Lyons is over there. I'm going to walk back because I want you to show you that one. You see where it is? A travel by, whatever it is, that is William Lyons. Now behind them shutters, it's actually got it as you walk in, like in a mosaic, but it is there. Still carrying on walking down Freeman Street now. So I'm going to show you some of the locations of some of these shops that I do now. I mean, I've mentioned some of them already. I'm quite far up now, about halfway down, roughly. But we're heading up towards, let's say, Asda. Just notice, you guys, some of these shops are the same length. I guess it depended on what you were selling at the time. Just something I observed. I've been going along. Okay, on with the video. And over the road, the Angel still there. So we're going to walk down a bit further. I'm going to point out some of the various things that was down here that I know from memory. And probably you guys are going to tell me a lot more. I can see it. I hope you do, because I need, you know, it helps make videos. This is why I do this and that, because I like the information you give me, you guys, is excellent. This is the wine pipe. Wasn't here originally. As you can see up there. This was originally in the marketplace in town, or the Bullring area. Now over there, I remember that being a Blockbusters. Now I don't know what it was before that. Some things you can find out and some you can't. And in there, that space, used to be a shop in there as well. And I never know the names of half of these, but there did used to be a big shop in there again. Corner here, this shop here, this Hoover shop, a tram crashed into it. Not the ones that the over electric cables, it would have been a trolley bus. But it crashed into this very wall just there. There you go, in there. Okay, so over there, famous pub. That's where the Grimsby Town Football Club started, 1878, as it's pointing out on there. So, okay, I'm going to go a bit further. Now, boys, that's been there one of the longest down here and still here. Really good shop, that is. It's a bit like having your old ironmongers. You can get everything there and nothing there. You want some tapes, things like that, screws, I don't know, there's all sorts. Even sell rotor sports in there. So I'm going to move on a bit further down here now. Another shop. Somebody asked me about this one. Oh yeah, it's still going. See, a lot of history down this one street. And oh, I forgot to mention, its first reincarnation was called Straight Street because it's straight. And as you know, later on, they must have had a look at the charter and thought, hang on a minute, we'll call it Freeman Street, but we know it as locally as Freemo. Right, I'm still on the corner of Clyde Street now and Freeman Street, and this, bit of a giveaway, this used to be a post office in there. And around here, was it that one or the next one? Anyway, Thomas's was along this part. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's, I can't remember which one of them it is. I used to go in here a lot. But yeah, Thomas's is in there. And this used to be Moyes. Remember Moyes, where you got your prams now? They was here from there enough to start as well. They used to sell the Silver Cross. You know, the coach-built ones, unlike now, probably plastic. I'm going to turn this camera around in a minute and show you sort of point at something across the road that you probably know about. Up there was the cyclist club, and there used to be a bike hanging out of there, up there. That's where that was in there, and that used to be a cake shop at one time on the corner, but all changed. You can see now, totally changed down here, isn't it? And at Christmas, before you came down Freeman Street, there was a Christmas tree in the middle of the road there. They don't do that anymore now. Come to the end of another video there that you enjoyed. That was a bit more in-depth look at Freeman Street. Okay, or known as Straight Street when it first started until they changed the name. So on that note, I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers to the channel. I really do appreciate it. And for all you watching my content, I really do appreciate that. So on that note, I'll see you all next time back on the streets on the next video. Bye for now, and I'll leave you with this.